Come on down to 10 Mile Orangeau and have some Gullah food. Me and my family, we're having a nice little picnic, and we're gonna have barbecued pork, barbecued chicken, potato salad, collard greens. And this is how we Gullah people do it in the Gullah style. The Gullah people migrated from Sierra Leone. And so this is what it's all about today. We call it a little gathering, a family gathering.
Now the Gullah Geechee heritage, which came from our ancestors, the Africans who came over who were rice growers from the west coast of Africa, they were the ones who were responsible for actually the economic development of the United States of America. They actually started growing rice just for survival, and the British discovered that they knew how to grow rice, which immediately gave a big economic boom to the beginning of the United States. And actually South Carolina was the wealthiest state in the United States due to rice production.
My father built this house from scratch. I was born here, delivered by a midwife. When my mother got in labor with all her kids, she would call her. We didn't have a whole lot of yard space here because we had our little farm. This whole area out here where we would plant tomato, cucumber, corn, string beans, fresh food. The men around in the area, they would go fishing and they would come by, and everything was like really at hand.
When you look at frying fish, you look at red rice, you look at the yams, okay, which are the sweet potatoes. You look at the goobers, which are peanuts. Those are things that describe the African meaning for those particular terms or those particular things.
When they lived on the plantation, they spoke an African type dialect. And then that dialect changed to American dialect. So you would find saying like grits, they would call it humney.
The dialect itself is it's more like are you a benya or come here? As we come here today to feast with the Askew family and eat and all that, we having a good time, just having a good time with the family here. So that's the way the dialect sounds. If you put it in a romantic sense, more like my brothers and everything down in Jamaica where the ting is right, it's basically the same dialect, it's just a few adjustments.
Well, this Gullah style of cooking was handed down from 3 generations. My grandmother, my mother, and my aunt. I mean, that's how I became a great cook, because I think I'm a great cook. I'm an author of a cookbook. The name of the cookbook is Gullah Cuisine by Land and by Sea. With the collars, I like to use a little smoked meat. That's the Gullah style. We prepare collars with smoked neck bone and ham hock, and sometimes they throw a little pigtails in it. I usually take the greens and I usually turn it like this, roll it like a little bit, turn it like this. When it's cooked and you serve it, it's more neater. When I grew up, this is the way how we did it, like this. The little tiny stems, we put that in there. My mother always said, all the vitamins are in this pot. This is the spare ribs. We're gonna barbecue this. We're gonna put this on the grill. Before I put it on the grill, once I clean it, then I make a rub. It's garlic, granulated onions, salt and pepper. I like to combine it a little bit and then rub it in. I always do that hand rub, and it seems like it gives the food a little love and it just tastes better. It's good to do it overnight so the seasoning can go through it. Barbecue sauce I make from scratch. Mike, come here a minute. Put your finger, taste that sauce. This is my homemade sauce. This is the sauce going on the chicken. I should have been out here supervising. And we're also going to have fresh whiting fish with heads on. This is the fish I grew up on, which we got it from the river, which is not too far from this little area. My first meal that I prepared was liver and onions. And my older brother told my mom, said, "Mom, you don't have to rush back because Charlotte made a delicious meal." And that kind of made me feel so proud. So I was cooking ever since that. This is fresh corn that has been shocked. I like to boil it, but this is a nice little secret. I put a little milk and water and a little salt. I'm serving Gullah potato salad. And what I do is I use celery, and I chop the celery up fine. And then once I chop the celery up, I do green pepper, chop that up, and boil eggs. And I chop that up, set it aside, and mayonnaise. I like to use Hellman, but the one I made today is with Hellman. And I always use sweet salad cube pickles. This is how it looks. This is Gullah style. This is how my grandmama made it, my aunt, my mama, now me.
We see the Gullah Geechee culture as a culture rich with being inventive as far as economic development, social development, and also educational development. Because when we couldn't read or write, because it was against the law, we told things in story form. And as telling things in story form, there were hidden lessons in each story. So therefore, you not only had the stories of the telling of your history, but you also had the food and celebration. And the food just was a variety from all over. And when you look at even the housing, because a lot of us, you look at us as being slaves, but we are also craftsmen. We were bricklayers, we were artists and what have you. The music, of course, folks know that the music, particularly gospel and jazz and all that, has that African overtone, which all started here on the East Coast, then migrated throughout the country.